This is the story of how we decided to give up our car, buy a van and turn it into a camper in just 1 month. Because why make decisions when you can make memorable ones?
Okay, for the last year, we've had a holiday plan for July the 20th. The plan was to leave from here, head over to France, head down to Spain, or head the other way over to the south of France, possibly end up in Italy for 2 weeks. It is currently June the 2nd, and things have taken a massive turn. When we originally set out for this plan, we had a Land Rover Freelander 2, and at the time we were determined to turn that into a micro camper, so use the car as a camper. We had a huge plan, we had everything sorted, and we set out to build this micro camper. We gutted the back, we built a lovely little setup in the back where the drawers would come out of the back door. It was perfect, it was amazing, it was everything we had in our head in the car. Until we done a test night. We spent 1 night in it and it was absolutely awful. Neither of us are gonna lie on the fact that we did not enjoy it. It was small, you had no air room, you had no breathing room, you were breathing in each other's air, you were face to face with each other. If it rained, you were stuck inside the car. It was not going to be realistic, it was not going to be enjoyable. We wanted to be comfortable, we wanted to be adventurous, but also felt like home. We wanted to feel like we were home from home. And then we both had an idea. Why don't we sell our car and buy a van? May the 15th, I think it was. And we had about 2 months to figure all this out and get it in action. And it wasn't going to work. The most we could sell our car was for about £1,500. And then to buy a camper for that price was very unrealistic. So we decided to swap our car for a van and then build this camper for ourselves. Sounded great. We managed to find someone who wanted to swap. We managed to do that swap. Everything was amazing. The van was reliable. It has a lot of miles on it for its age. It used to be an ex-hire van, but MOT wise and everything around it wise was absolutely amazing. That led us to May the 20th. This is where the problem comes into it, and this is where the whole idea of this video to show others that it's possible, and also the whole challenge of this camper build, was we had 30 days to build a camper that is warm, waterproof, reliable, livable, and would take us on our holiday. So here's the plan. 3 phases.
Phase 1, installation and walls. Phase 2, electric and furniture. Phase 3, interior and decor.
When we got the van, we had a few days until payday. We had a good week to sit there, look at this van and try and figure out a plan. We spent every single spare moment watching videos on YouTube of other camper builds, tutorials, ideas, and writing down and drawing plans for what we wanted it to look like. And I'm just going to say this now, we've actually not stuck to one of them plans that we made. Then the big day came, payday came, and we set out to get in phase 1 complete.
This stage was probably the most boring stage of the entire build. Sound deadening, the insulation and the vapor barrier. The sound deadening that we picked up was £15 on eBay, and they were a lot cheaper than the Dodo mats. And to be fair, they probably do the exact same thing. The material on them and the quality are brilliant, and they do exactly what they're made to do. Then the vapor barriers went up. Now this one was a little bit more expensive than the other part. We paid £57 for 3 sheets of the vapor barrier, and obviously we needed spray glue to go with it and also tape to go around the edges. The spray glue come to £14 for 2, and the tape come to £14 again for 2 of them. We run out of insulation on Friday,
So we also run out of the budget money for the insulation. So I come across a load of free insulation on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I have too much. I think I have way too much. I hate this stuff. It is absolutely disgusting stuff. But yeah, I think I have way too much. So the insulation is where we messed up, because we were originally going to use just the white stuff that is up, and that's more of an eco-friendly kind of brand new of insulation, and that's what we wanted to go for. But things changed when we realised how expensive it was and how little we got for the price. So we paid £60 for 2 rolls of the white insulation, and it didn't come with much insulation at all. So I managed to find someone on Facebook getting rid of a load of insulation for free, thankfully. So the last week we have learnt a lot, not just from building a camper, what insulation actually is and vapor barrier, what tools work for what bits. We've also learned a lot about sacrifice. Sacrifice is one of the biggest things you have to challenge in life, and we have learned a lot over the last week about it. We had a dream of heading to France, traveling around France, visiting all these amazing places in France, and unfortunately with the sacrifice of having to totally change our plans on the vehicle that we're going to be using, we've now had to sacrifice going over to France. The build is now taking control of our time and our money, where every single penny that comes into our bank account goes straight back out onto this build. We've had to sacrifice a lot of stuff. Obviously, the holiday being one of them. Instead of going to France, we've both come to an agreement that we're just going to travel around the UK, head up to Scotland, down to Cornwall, over to Dorset, even over to the Isle of Wight. We have 2 weeks to just explore the whole of the UK. We've done a lot of UK holidays in the past, and I think this is going to be the last UK holiday that we're going to do before we do start heading out to the UK. The fan was definitely the scariest part to put in. You have to make a massive hole in your roof with the chances of the fan not actually working. But all in all, it come out amazing and it works absolutely perfect. And the entire price for the fan to be put in was roughly around £100 with all the bits and bobs that we needed to add in as well.
That's extracting.
This part was definitely the longest part of the journey, was carpeting everything. We carpeted all the bits that we knew was going to be exposed from the wood. The carpet come to £85. That come with 7 spray glues. I'll link them below. They do loads of camper accessories, and we'll definitely be ordering some more stuff of them as we need it. But yeah, the carpet was probably the most tedious bit and the longest bit, because we had to measure everything up and make sure that we used the carpet wisely, making sure all the measurements was perfect, and just cutting it all and gluing it all in. It was hard, but it was fun. You've actually seen it come to life. It was the part where you've seen the van just come into life to a van. There's 2 things I've learned on this phase, is that 1, insulation is extremely itchy, and I think I'm allergic to it, because every time I touch it, I come out in a rash, and my eyes burn and my body itches. And 2, you need a lot of spray glue, and I mean a hell of a lot of spray glue. This is the part of the build that we were both absolutely dreading, the wood side of things. So we started off with the floor. Now the floor isn't complete, we've just put it down as a template at the moment because we need to lay lino and all that kind of fun stuff. But cutting the floor and making sure that the floor was in perfect was definitely the bit that we were going to struggle with the most. Well, at least we thought we was going to struggle with the most. Sometimes you have to have trust in yourself and trust the process, because it come out absolutely perfect. It couldn't have been better. What's the saying? Measure 10 times and cut once. And that's definitely what you need to do when it comes to building a van. Now the total of all the woods, including the battens, the floors, the walls, all that come to about £200. Thankfully we had hold of a Selco card so that it cut the price in half, majorly in half. The last bit of this phase was the walls, and I tell you now that once them walls are up, the van looks like a camper, and it definitely brings it all to life. It looks absolutely amazing. Again, the price is in with the same as the walls, so just under £200, including screws as well. And again, we were dreading this part because of the shaping and all the outlines and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, our van didn't come with already made wood to template it, so we had to do it all by hand and measure everything up, and thanks to my amazing husband, it's come out perfect. Unfortunately, I wasn't much help at this stage. I'm not sure whether it's the irritation of all the dust that I've been dealing with, or the sawdust, or the insulation dust, but I've decided to have a throat infection on the last few days of this stage, so I wasn't too active, I wasn't too helpful. I just held the camera and passed the screws at this point. My throat was absolutely raw, so just a heads up for anyone who does want to do this, make sure you wear a mask. I'm not saying that it is from the environment I've been in. They also did say I'm fighting a viral as well, so it could just be the fact I'm run down. But let me tell you something, you do not want any sort of ulcer at the back of your throat, because it is agonizing.
Thankfully, we haven't run into many problems in the phase 1. Going into phase 2, I'm hoping I can say the same thing at the end of that phase. I think the most difficult thing we found in phase 1 was to making sure we had enough spray glue. As I said earlier, one of the biggest things that we have learnt on this build is sacrifice, and with just a few more weeks left until we're going away, we're still sacrificing a lot of stuff. But once it's over and we've sacrificed the last month and a half to this build, we're not only gonna have a nice 2-week holiday, we can have a lifetime of memories. And that is so much more important than that night out that we missed, or that food that we didn't order, or that cinema date that we didn't go to. We're gonna have a van build. We're gonna have memories that are gonna last. We're gonna have laughs and cries and tears that are gonna last forever. That's the thing about time, it's such a funny thing. You either use it wisely or it uses you. Don't let it run away with you. There's plenty of time to sleep when we're old, and there's plenty of time to do all that kind of resting when we're old. It's time to live now, and that's what we're about to do. We're about to live. So, see you all in phase 2. Phase 1 has been stressful, but it's been a very big learning curve. See you in phase 2.